fantastic movie. I mean, what was your inspiration for the actor?
Man, there was a lot of things. I mean, I've had just the general idea for a while to sort of take all the things I love about the era I grew up in, which is the 90s, and just sort of throw them all together in a pan, and just a briefcase full of money and a guy on the run, and, you know, bad guys after him, and some home invasion, and, you know, pretending to be somebody else, just all these fun little things, and just make a movie out of that, tell a story out of that. And I also really wanted to I like the idea of telling a story where the landscape just sort of keeps expanding a little bit, especially with an indie film, because it's hard to do that and doesn't usually happen. And then I wanted there to be a bunch of characters. So I wanted the central character to kind of move through all of these different characters and have to sort of change kind of who he is as he's going, and learn lessons or fail along the way.
Over here, Pastor.
Oh.
Why don't you ride with me, Pastor? There'll be more room.
Okay. Thanks, it sounds great.
You like the new pastor? Yeah.
So you have a lot of really fun characters in The Actor, like you just said. I absolutely loved watching them, and the fact that you had such dynamic personalities working together so well. But there was one theme that I really saw when I was watching it about moral conflict. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
I thought this was always really fascinating, is you've got all these people, myself included, who move from all over the country, all over the world, to Los Angeles or even New York. Mm-hmm. They're going to the city, they're going to audition, they're going to make it big. And they have some morals and they have some roots, or maybe they don't. But wherever they're from, they go, and suddenly they're faced with an audition where they got to do something they wouldn't do in real life. And so many people just do it. Oh, it's okay, well, you're acting. And I feel like I've seen so many people kind of compromise a little bit who they are, or maybe not know what to do in that situation. So I wanted to address that. It was just kind of understanding that.
I think that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, is
Just
when
that
you're
first
standing
one.
in front of the mirror and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
trying to say the F word.
Yeah. Well, and
it really does show that, you know, that fight with yourself, you know, that
Yeah.
moral battle between your head and your heart.
I mean, I grew up in a house where if I told my mom the vacuum sucks, I was grounded for a week. So
I thought, swearing, it's usually overused, and it often shows a lack of intelligence in the writing. And this guy, Johnny, I mean, he really sets the whole story in motion here. So I read the whole script, and I chose to keep him, really intelligent, very sharp. So I thought maybe, the scene might be more powerful without just so many constant F-bombs in there.
I see. Okay, so your choices were intentional then?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to ask, what are some of your inspirations movie-wise? I know you're a big film buff, going into The Actor.
my favorite director of all time is Brian De Palma. And so as far as camera and, storytelling techniques, I love what he does and has done with the camera in movies like The Untouchables and the first Mission Impossible and Scarface and Carrie. And he's an iconic filmmaker. And he always would talk about the camera is leading up to the action that we're waiting to see, and that's what we're watching. And there is a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of movement where the camera is taking you to somewhere. It isn't just happening. And, that can be challenging on a small film. But I really, every day at the end of the shot list, we would have a starred shot with me and my DP, and it would say De Palma shot. And we would try to get something big or a long tracking shot or something like that. So there's a lot of that in there. I love the throwback to those kind of 80s and 90s movies where there really wasn't any CGI if anything. There wasn't a lot of effects. The camera had to tell the story. The actors had to tell the story. So we kept it that way.
I love it. I loved everything about it. I love the lead up. I'd never really thought about it like that.
I'll wear that.
So I know, Richard, that you are a lifelong fan of Collective Soul, and
yeah.
their music is highlighted throughout this film in such a wonderfully done way. Could you explain your fanship to Collective Soul and kind of how that came about?
When I was in high school, I made a film, and I used all of their music as the soundtrack, and I basically vowed that I was going to do that one day. I was going to go to Hollywood one day, and I was going to do it. I was going to make a real film this way, and I was going to use them as the soundtrack. And I just really never let go of that or forgot about that, and kind of through it all. And when this one came around, and I knew that we had raised the money and it was going to go, I was like, okay, maybe this is the one. I feel like it's the right time. We ended up making a deal to use, their tracks as the Soul soundtrack. So that dream got to come true. The movie premiered at AMC Theaters, and Ed Roland of Collective Soul came.
I was just about to ask, were they able to see it?
Yeah, they were able to see it. I know Will and some of the guys, we got to go to the concert, and, we got to meet them too through this. Wow. So it was more of a getting to tell them how much I appreciate them as artists and how much I appreciate that they're still going. They're a family. They like each other. They play rock and roll. It's very, very cool. So for them to still be doing that right now, and for them to be from my childhood, it was just really, really, really special.
Yeah, oh, I'm newly calibrated.
I know that you wrote it, but you didn't just write it. You also directed it. You also starred in it as Hunter. What was that like on set for you?
It was a lot to kind of take on, a lot of moving pieces, but I definitely don't regret it. I feel like it was really fun. It was really fun just to see it kind of come together. And I was never late. My actor version was never late, so I was never waiting for me. If that makes sense, but yeah.
That's a big positive.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Your place, his name is Jesus Christ, and he died on a cross, and he'll be the one that carries our burdens.
Buddy, and then we're gonna actually shoot.
So Richard, do you have a favorite moment in the movie, The Actor?
It got me after I actually watched it. There's a scene in the diner with this actress named Caroline Kelly, and it's pretty simple. And there's a lot of dry humor in it, but it also turns and gets real serious, and she sort of has a breakdown about what she's doing with her life. And Hunter doesn't really know what he's doing with his life, and he's kind of in the same desperate place, and it's just these two desperate human beings feeling the same thing in their totally different space. And that really was like that scene is almost kind of the theme of the movie. Of she has this great line where she says that she can't do this anymore. And then Hunter says to her, "What, acting?" And then she says, "Oh, I'm not acting." She says, I'm pretending to be a waitress at a Hollywood diner. Yeah. Greatest performance of my life. The way that she did that, and the way that it came off just really touched me, because I think there's just thousands of people that's like that sentence. It's exactly it.
Maybe I just can't do this anymore.
What, acting?
I'm not acting. I'm pretending to be a waitress at a Hollywood diner. It's the best performance of my life. I miss my home. I miss my parents. I thought I could be the next Meryl Streep or Viola Davis. Really good. Real,
Yeah. Yeah, I do know. And look, this seems pretty real right now.
That scene was very real and tender, and it was necessary to Hunter's next steps too, I feel.
Yeah.
It's like a breath of fresh air type of a movie.
It's entertainment for entertainment's sake.
Can you tell us what you're working on next?
I have a movie right now called I Know You, You Know Me, and trying to get it off the ground, this year. I'd love to shoot it locally. And the real fun thing, I think, for right now is just trying to provide opportunity to do something creative with new people and connect with people, and get it going. And I mean, if you know anything about Collective Soul, I used the band members' names as characters in the film, in the actor, and I didn't use Jesse Triplett's name, and he's their lead guitarist. And he personally told me that how much he didn't like that. So we had a little fun banter about it. But in this next movie, Jesse, if you're watching or you care, I'm gonna have his name be the lead character, and still sort of tip my hat to the band. They have a great song that's the same title, so the whole soundtrack won't be them, but I kind of feel like they're gonna be a little part of anything that I do.
There's something I have to tell you.
Yes, wait, bro. Yes, wait, bro. Yes, wait, bro.
Would you lay it down?
Yes, wait, bro.
I leave the cage wide open. I get the words across your dear.
That's good. That's funny. What else?
Have you seen this yet, Tom?
In the morning when I slow and the sun soon explodes, I need the world to.
All I want is your dead body.